There's a YouTuber by the name of the Filipina P. You know, she always talking about the modern women, you know, what happens in the West. But boy, how she eviscerated the modern woman. Let's review it.
Feminists probably have no idea how some of us in the rest of the world look at the craziness going on in the West. And I'm sure they don't care.
That's right. They really don't care because they kind of insulated into themselves because they just extremely selfish. But let's continue.
But I'd really like to know, is it boredom, entitlement, or just plain insanity that's causing you to wage war on half of your population? And then crying about, where have all the good men gone?
And we have seen a lot of those videos, and we've covered some of those videos here. So see, other people throughout the world are paying attention. The world has gotten so much smaller now because of the internet.
Well, I'll tell you where they've gone and where they're going. To Asia and other friendly places around the world. Places that know a decent man when they see one. Places that you blue hairs wouldn't last a day in because we don't cater to your every whim and fancy.
Yes, in other parts of the world, she is 100% right. It's not no matriarchal society. See, the Western world is matriarchal. Everything goes to the female. The female has more power over the men. You know, they can take half of your stuff at marriage. They can run you through the ringer with child support, spousal support. All those things happen in the Western world. But you get outside the Western world and actually get into the real world because the Western world is fantasy land. It's not real. The rest of the world actually operate as it should operate. But let's continue.
And I can promise you, we Asian women are happy to have your men and offer them everything they've been looking for. But it's interesting that your reaction is to attack the men who are leaving and tell them that they're losers who aren't good enough to get a woman in the West. Yep, once again, it's the man's fault.
I never understood that part either. And also, you even got simps doing it. If these dudes are leaving, and it's their right to do that, if they get a blue passport, they have their right to do whatever they want to do, right? Why attack them? I never understood that because when I listen to the attack videos, you call them lame, you call them stupid, you call them all kind of names. So why would you waste your time in making a video about that kind of guy? But see, a lot of the females play a reverse psychology. You understand what I'm saying? They're really bothered by that because they understand it takes money to make those trips. It takes money to do things abroad. They understand that. And in their mind, they thinking, shoot, that's actually the decent dudes living, but let me attack them.
And you attack us Asian women too. You call us poor, uneducated, submissive, desperate women who are happy with your table scraps and rejects.
And that's exactly what they say. See, anything you say online, everybody hearing what you're saying now. There's just proof of that.
But if you truly believe we were getting your leftovers, the men you don't want anyway, then why do you sound so angry and defensive about it and try to shame men for finding happiness here?
Good question. Once again, great question. If they are your table scraps, if they are your dusty guys that you don't want these guys, they're stupid, they're lame, they're socially awkward, all the things that you say, why attack them? She's 100% correct on that. But let's continue.
Wouldn't you be thanking us for taking out your trash?
I think she's right on this too. I mean, wouldn't you be happy about that instead of making all these passport bro videos on TikTok?
And as far as Filipino women being uneducated, we have the same percentage of college graduates that you do, and what you call submissive is what we call being agreeable.
Uh-oh. So she said that submission is agreeable. But you have to understand, in the Western world, dysfunction is normalized. Undiagnosed mental health is normalized in the Western world. So anything good is bad and anything bad is good. That's how it is in the Western world. So, of course, any woman that submits to, her man, as she should, that's something wrong with her. Even if the woman live here in America. You can have any woman that say, nah, my husband, I respect my husband, XYZ, or my husband wants to do this and that. What you doing that for? You ain't got to listen to him. And there's always some woman that don't have a man giving all this advice about what another woman should do. have no proof that you even in any kind of relationship. None. You know me, I've said it before. I don't really take relationship advice from somebody that's never really been in relationships or not even been married and don't even have that long-term marriage. You know what I'm saying? If you're 25 years old and you trying to give somebody relationship advice, like, you're 25, you ain't lived. You're 24, you have not lived yet. You're not even 30 yet. What are you talking about? Your life is so limited. And then some of them don't even have a ring on their hand and they trying to give relationship advice. But I think that's interesting. But let's continue.
Do I look uneducated, submissive, and desperate to you? Well, guess what? There are millions more like me over here, just waiting to have a shot at making your men happy. Oh. They also call us gold diggers and claim that we only want green cards.
She said that they looking for the opportunity to make the men you don't want happy. We talking about the men that you say is short, the men that's not Pookie and Ray Ray, the men that's, you know, not doing the things that you think they should be doing, you know, wearing Jordans, wearing some, you know, white person's name on their body as a status symbol, like Christian Dior, Michael Kors, all these, you know, people that don't even like us is black people, right? They not even worried about that over there. They say, hey, I just want a decent man. As how it used to be, actually, a long time ago.
To escape to the promised land. Well, I hate to burst your bubble, but many of us Filipinos are happy to stay right where we are. And as for gold digging, have you ever heard of the pot calling the kettle black? After these...
And let me tell you something. You talking about the Philippines and the economy of the Philippines. See, men don't have to worry about making six figures if they are in the Philippines. A man that makes $40,000 a year, if he can do it remotely and he wants to live in the Philippines, he's like making the six figures salary. You understand? Even if he made 35,000, even maybe 30, he's still living great in the Philippines. Versus here, some of these women are talking about $100,000 a year. One person on that Kendra G show said a man should be making $250,000 a year to get with her. And you should have seen this woman. Like, this is why these men with resources are saying, you know what? Let me go somewhere like the Philippines.
Dealing with all the monkey branching and cash grabbing from you Western women, I think your men can handle the situation over here just fine. But don't listen to me. Talk to the guys who already escaped the plantation and see what they have to say. There are plenty of YouTube channels made by passport bros that tell guys what it's really like over here. Is it perfect? No way. But for guys who are looking for a place where they're valued and treated with dignity and respect, we're pretty hard to beat.
Oh boy, she said that Filipinas are hard to beat compared to you modern American women. Now the passport bros have been making videos. You know, like I say, I see them on YouTube pop up. You know, now we know right now Colombia is not a good spot right now, but we're not hearing all the bad stories coming out of the Philippines. Just saying, we don't hear a bunch of guys getting drugged and dying from it in the Philippines. I'm not hearing that, but you know, a lot of Asian countries, you better not have drugs. You going to jail for real.
So maybe instead of trying to pound your man into submission, why not work on yourselves and become women worth fighting for? Because if you won't, we're more than happy to show your rejects what happiness really is.
Accountability? That's not something that works in the Western world. No, not at all. Men have to be accountable, but not these modern women here in this country or throughout the Western world. And the reason why I say Western world, because it's not just America. You got guys in Canada saying the same thing. The other day, the single mother video I put up, that woman was out of Canada. You know, people that's in, you know, the UK, you know, they saying the same thing. You know, people that's in Germany, anywhere that's considered the Western world or European ran countries, that's what we mean Western world. It's the same issue and problem because it's the culture of the Western world. That's what it is that creates that issue. See, other countries don't have an environment to create that problem. That's why when these guys go to these different countries and they actually see a system where that's not tolerated, then that's what they say, oh, shoot, it's not that the women are so much better. No, I mean, women are women. It don't matter where they live in the world. But the culture is what it is. The culture of the Western world is just not good. And it is, it destroys families. We got the city girl thing going on top of that. All the 304s, can be celebrated. 304s can be on billboards now. 304s can make millions of dollars a month on freaking OnlyFans. And that's celebrated here in the West. That's fine. That's not something that the rest of the world get down on like that. So this is why when these guys get a taste of that, they say, oh, hell no, I'm not dealing with this. But at the same time, what she said is true. Not every freaking woman trying to leave their country to come over here. And that's something no man should do, is bring them back. I mean, in other words, you can visit, but you be over there with that woman. Don't bring them back here, because what's the point of that? If that's the case, you might well deal with the women here. Because all she's going to do is you're going to taint her, because America taints people. It turns people into ugly, attitudes, especially coming here, because we are too liberal. That's what it is. We are too liberal in the Western world. Anything goes. Shaming doesn't work anymore on certain things. Hey, you do what thou wilt. That's the mantra of the West. Anything that's harmful, go ahead and do it. It's okay. And if anybody say anything about it, you're wrong. Using all these little words they use to try to condemn people. But, let me know what y'all think, brothers. What Filipina P is saying here. She's saying that if you guys aren't wanted by these Western, modern American females, then hey, you can go to the Philippines. They say they got some love for you out there.